What if you could go back in time?
So I went to 1895, which is like the dawn of film. So there were movies before that. There were like kinetoscopes, which was invented by Thomas Edison, but those weren't like projectors. Those were like things that you like put your eyes into and you can like see it in a box.
Right.
And it wasn't until the invention of the cinematograph that they could actually like project movies onto a screen. And the cinematograph was invented by Leon Booley, but it was eventually sold to the Lumiere brothers. And the Lumiere brothers are famous for showing. So they had like public showings of movies, and like one of the famous ones was, you probably heard of it, the train coming towards the screen, and like the audience freaked out because they thought there was a train actually coming at them.
Yeah, that's like weird. Like I learned about that in school too. Was that people just didn't understand how movies worked?
Yeah, they thought it was like real. So I wanted to like play off of that situation and try to like see what I could show them that could like make a bigger impact.
Alien.
So the first thing I would, well, the first thing I would do when I get there is I would take the Lumiere brothers' place, and I don't know what I'd do with them. I'd probably like send them somewhere. I don't know.
Chris just trying to say hardest. Chris doesn't want to start his wish fulfillment time travel with murder.
Right. I would send them to a
them.
farm upstate.
I would supplant their place in history.
I'll pay them a lot of money to go somewhere else. And I would take their place showing movies to the public. And the train movie thing actually wasn't their first public showing. That was like a year after their first public showing. Their first public showing was in 1985, which is where I went. And they showed 10 different movies, but I wouldn't show any of those. And instead, I would choose... So I thought hard about like what movie I would show them. It was a very difficult choice, but eventually I landed on Michael Bay's masterpiece, Transformers.
Tell me how this came. Tell me about your process, Chris. Tell me what got you from all the movies ever and then head to head, 38 round elimination tournament, and at the top of the line right there, Transformers.
Yeah, let's go with the question that's always on people's minds. Why did you choose Transformers?
I just want to show them an awesome, dumb movie with robots fighting each other. I mean, I don't even know if they know what robots are.
Probably not.
I don't know.
Da Vinci would.
Yeah, he would. So the thing is, they would probably think that Transformers is real because they wouldn't like understand what CGI is. They wouldn't understand. Like if they thought the train was actually coming at them, they'll think the robots are real.
Mm-hmm.
So they're probably going to think that this is just like a prophecy of the future, that robots are going to take over the world.
Reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
So I think one of the unintended outcomes, because I just wanted to show them a cool movie, I didn't really think of like the outcomes, how it would affect the future. But eventually, people would like fear cars and stuff. So like in 1985, cars were like a thing, but they weren't really popularized yet. So there were a few like early versions of cars, but the first production gasoline car was in 1985 by Carl Benz, and then in 1913 was the Ford Model T, and that's when it was like mass produced. That was the first mass produced car. So cars aren't really mass produced yet, but they are like a known thing. And I think Transformers would kind of like just instill fear into that type of technology. People wouldn't want to develop cars anymore. They wouldn't want to research them at all. So like all advancements in car technology would just stop.
So you've managed to go back in time and uninvent the car.
Yeah.
That's a new one.
But eventually, because the plot of Transformers isn't actually that all cars are bad, or even alive. If you look at the plot, the thing that makes cars alive is called the Allspark, and I guess it like crashed onto Earth or something, and Megatron came and tried to like find it, and he ended up getting frozen in the Arctic Circle trying to find the Allspark. And in the movie, they actually said that some guy named Archibald Amundsen Witwicky, he was like an explorer, he found Megatron in the Arctic Circle in 1897.
Do you
Can
want
you do that
to
name for me one more
talk
time?
about that name a little bit, Marcus? Yeah.
That's the name they gave him, Archibald Amundsen Witwicky.
Archibald Winwicky, the explorer of the Arctic.
Yeah, so in the movie, he found Megatron in the Arctic Circle in 1897, which is 2 years from where I am in history right now.
Who was it who found it? Tell me one more time.
Archibald Amundsen Witwicky. So they're going to think that, like, this guy's going to find him in 2 years. And they're going to want to try to find the Allspark because they don't want this thing to fall into the wrong hands. They think that evil robots are going to find it and try to take over the world. So they're going to try to find, like, a real Archibald Witwicky in real life. Obviously, they're not going to find anyone because he's a fictional character. But they eventually will find the person that the character is based on, Roald Amundsen. His last name is the guy's middle name in the movie. So I think they'll make a connection somehow. I don't know. And he is a Norwegian explorer, and he was actually the first one to traverse the Northwest Passage into the Arctic, and he was the first one to reach the North Pole. And he reached the North Pole in 1926. So they're going to find him, and they're going to try to get him to go to the Arctic. And this is like 30 years before he actually reached the North Pole. So it's going to sort of expedite the process. And I don't think they're actually going to make it because he's inexperienced at this point. He's only 23 in 1895. So I think that'll be a failed attempt. But eventually, I do think they will find someone that can get them there.
And they will fund the Allspark. And they will create Transformers. And Optimus Prime shall roll down the streets of New York City.
And we'll just go, damn it, Chris.
I know. I will have ruined... I will have started the Transformers reality.
So maybe actually made history
You can read all
better.
about it.
Yeah.
You can read all about it in Wilt Wiki's book, the Wilt Wikipedia.
Yeah, so they're not going to find it there. They're going to probably waste a bunch of resources searching the Arctic Circle. The Arctic Circle actually makes up 4% of the Earth's surface. So it's a big area. And I think just eventually, like, they've halted the production of cars, and they're waiting to find the Allspark, and they're never going to find the Allspark. So I think I just ruined technology.
I guess so.
I unintentionally ruined technology. My bad. But they got to
Thanks, Archibald.
They got to see an awesome robot movie.
Yet another reason why the Michael Bay Transformers movie should never have been made.